It's another edition of First and 10 with Rams head coach Brad Sherrod. I'm Jimmy the St. Christopher. Another victory for the Rams as they beat Langston 49-7 here at Crowley ISD Multi-Purpose Stadium. So the Rams perfect now, 9-0. They go to 8-0 in the SAC, and I think officially, we'll talk to Coach about that here in a second, but I think they officially, with the win, wrap up the Sooner Athletic Conference title. Anyway, the Rams led 21-7 at the end of the first half. Kind of a slow start, which we'll get into here in the shake, but story of the day in my mind is senior running back Ernie Caesar from East Chambers High School. He had 6, that's right, a half dozen touchdowns to add to his prolific total of 27, so 27 plus 6 is 33. That 33 is an NAIA single season rushing touchdown record, and they still have one more game left. Coach, we were talking about the great Ernie Flash Caesar last week, and how much more can you say about him? But I know he's a great kid. You said that last week, but what more can you say about the great kid, Ernie Caesar?
Yeah, I don't have the words to express what kind of kid he is and person he is. We all know he's a great player, and he's such a humble person, would always have a smile on his face. And I'm just happy for him that he's able to accomplish these things. I'm glad he's doing it for us, doing it at Texas Wesleyan. And I'm just happy that he's here been working with us, and that's important to us that he's here, and he's such a great teammate, and we're going to enjoy the rest of the time that we have with him and see can we continue to do some other things with him next week and keep building his records, for not just for him, because he deserves it, and the work that he puts in, and he makes a lot of things happen. When there's nothing, he makes a lot of things happen.
25 carries for the great Ernie Caesar, 212 yards, the 6 touchdowns. Man, we were talking before we started recording tonight about his vision. He just sees things and the moves he makes. And where does that come from? How do you get that?
I think it's just a natural ability that he has. He has that knack to be patient and see a hole and then hit it and set some things up for himself. So I don't know how he does it. Looks like he doesn't have a whole lot when he starts, but by the end of that play, he's gotten either 5 or a touchdown.
And what does that say, Coach, about your offensive line, who basically was, no starters returning from last year's team, but they've really turned it on, opening those holes for Ernie and the other running backs. But how did they get to the offensive line they are now from the beginning of the season? How much improvement have you seen from the beginning of the season?
Well, we thought they would get better because they were a young team. They were a young line. And the more experience you get, the more communication happens. You start to understand one another. Things in that nature start to take over. You start gelling and working together. And we always thought they would continue to get better as this thing went on, which was a plus for us. They were an older group that was kind of plateaued. They hadn't touched the ceiling yet of where they wanted to go. And I still think we can get better. We got some talented guys up there that have gotten better, and we developed some guys.
Rams didn't have Carson Rogers today at quarterback. He was suspended from the incidents from last week. But Cole Francis filled in rather nicely, 15 out of 29 for 203 yards. He did have 1 pick, but how did you see Cole's performance today?
I thought he did a heck of a job. I really did. I was really proud of the way he went in there and threw the ball, sat in the pocket and threw the football. He ran it a couple of times as well. And he put the ball on the money today. Other than that 1 interception, the other times he put the ball right there where it needed to be. And some got dropped early in the first half, but then the receivers came back the second half and really caught some balls that really put us in position to score. So I'm just really proud of the way he played and stayed connected and confident in what he was doing. And I'm proud of the way the receivers responded to help him as well. So that was important that those guys do that.
Rams got off to kind of a slow start for the Rams because a lot of times it's like 40-0 before the end of the first half. But Rams did jump up 7-0. There was one play where Bardell of Langston overshot Allen, his receiver, in the end zone. It was a good throw. It was right there, but Allen dropped that. What do you say to the slow start like that? And what did you led 21-7 at the end of the first half, but do you say anything to them during halftime about a relatively slow start? Yeah,
I thought it was a lot of things that we did and why it was slow. It wasn't so much what Langston did, but it was really what we did. Like I said, the drop balls, the illegal, the false starts and things in that nature, and giving up the touchdown right before the half. We didn't have to give up those things, and it came down to guys not, putting their eyes where they're supposed to be on defense. But I just challenged them. I said, look, how we respond this half will say a lot about us as a football team. This is somewhere we haven't been only up by 14 at the half. And I said, so it feels a little different. And they admitted it did. But I said, but how you respond is going to say a lot about us. And I said, but the one thing has to show up that we continue to play and be a physical football team. Just play hard and be a physical football team. And I thought that showed up in the second half.
And as we said, the Rams led 21-7 at the half, and about that play that Bardell, the quarterback for Langston, threw to Allen. It was right there for Allen. But how much, Coach, does a play like that make a difference? I know it was early in the game, but if they score there, kick the extra point, they tie it up. Is that not a turning point, but how much of a difference does that make for a team not making that play that early in the game?
Well, it's one play. Just like the opening play, we threw it down there, we didn't catch it. That's probably been a touchdown.
Yes.
So it's probably been up 14-0 early. But you just have to keep playing. I learned that a long time ago, that the players just have to continue to play every play and not worry about the last play. And just continue to play and see what happens from there, and just try to execute a little bit better every time. So like I said, I'm proud of the way our receivers responded in the second half. I thought they did a great job blocking on the perimeter for Ernie and blocking for each other as well. So we are starting to come, that's like not having that selfish demeanor. We've been selfless. We're blocking for each other. We're pulling for each other and pouring in each other, and want to see each other have success, because we understand that if one person has success, we all have success. If Ernie's having success, we're all having success. So you see that by how they play for each other and how they blocking for each other and the things that they're doing. So I'm just proud of the way our offense played and continue to play. Even though it wasn't as high scoring as we would like it to be, we still scored 49 points, and defensively we played well, stopped the run, and then got up the quarterback in the passing game.
And speaking of which, Bogan, Hill, Cannon all had good games. Bott, I'm leaving out Bott, but we picked Josh Morris as our player of the game with that pick. That's what really kind of clinched it. That came later, I think, in the second half. But how do you see Josh's play? Has he improved a lot from the beginning?
Yeah, Josh has done a great job. I think he's improved from the beginning of the season to now. He's our best corner. He's a guy that we can count on out there, and we put a lot on him. That's part of it. So and he's a really good student of the game. He really tries to understand what we're doing on defense, and really try to be a good communicator out there as well. So he's improved a lot, and I'm happy that he had that interception tonight. But we just need to continue to keep growing and working on our fundamentals and techniques. That's a week in and week out thing that we have to continue to do. And I'm just proud. Like I said, our defensive line has probably played, been the best that all year long. And I think Coach Miles, Brandon, has done a really good job with those guys up front. We stop the run, we move a little bit, we do some different things with them. And I see Aaron Bott and Daniel Bogan and Schultz step up and do some good things for us. It really helped us. That's kind of set the tone up front, which gives those guys in the back a chance to intercept some football.
And I forgot to mention the great Sir Hill, too.
Yeah.
He's had two great games, a lot of great games in a row for the Rams. Big day for the NAIA top 10. The Rams now number 9, but Dort, number 7 out of Iowa, lost to number 13 Northwestern Iowa, 3-0. That's right, 3-0. And then number 8, Mid-American Nazarene out of Kansas, lost to number 15 Baker, 20-14. So 7-8, 2 teams ahead of number 9 Rams in the NAIA. So that's got to help you, though. The 2 teams before you, jumping up into maybe 7 or 8 or maybe even 6.
Well, I'll say this: we have not looked at rankings, and we have not discussed that. We have not talked about that, and that's a credit to the kids. We are getting some press in the paper from the local newspaper now, and we don't need to eat the cheese. We still have to finish the season off and to finish it off perfect if we can, and then we want to get started for our second season. And I believe we can do a lot, but we really need to focus on just finishing up this season and then get ready for the playoffs from there.
And the Rams will finish up the season against Louisiana Christian over in the piney woods of Louisiana. We'll talk about Louisiana Christian coming up after this timeout on First and 10.
We are MBT Financial, Texas locally owned bank since 1973.
We are dedicated to providing prompt and courteous service.
We know our customers by name and tailor our services to fit their needs.
We are committed to helping small businesses grow and succeed.
We are involved in our communities here in North Texas.
We are Fort Worth.
We are Azle.
We are Burleson.
We are Hurst.
We are Willow Park.
We are anywhere through the MyNBT mobile app.
We are NBT Financial Bank.
We'd love for you to come bank with us. You're going to like us.
Welcome back to First and 10. Jimmy the Saint here with Brad Sherrod, the 9-0 Rams after their victory over Langston today with the record-setting performance by Ernie Caesar. 6 touchdowns. He now has 33 for the season with 1 game left. So that's an NAIA rushing record, and that 1 game left is Louisiana Christian. How do you see Louisiana Christian?
Well, they're good. They're still a good ball club. I watched a little bit of them on tape a little bit. Kind of watched them just through cross-reference of watching other teams that we're preparing for. And they're still a talented football team, and we need to make sure that it's a travel game going into their place to play. It's always tough to win a game on the road, and but our guys have proven that we can do that. But we have to go out there and do it again, and that's always the toughest thing. We talk about every game being a championship game from here on out, and that's just one more game that we have to play. It's going to be a championship game, so we need to make sure we bring our best, our A game, because we're going to get their A game for sure, and we need to make sure that we can match that.
Yeah, as you know, the last 2 years they ended the Rams season there, and 2 years ago, and then last year here. How much different did they look from what you can see from the last 2 years, or in particular last year?
Well, I think they got a couple good quarterbacks there that are playing for them right now. They might be young at some spots right now, but just watching them run around, they're still a good athletic football team. And I know their record doesn't indicate that, but they are still a good football team, and we need to make sure that we're prepared for them. And I think our kids understand what this team is. They like you said, they had some disappointing losses to those guys, and I think they understand what this game means. So I'm sure they're not taking these guys lightly. We won't allow them to do that.
Now, do you bring up those 2 losses, especially last year's? Now, a lot of the kids that have been here now were here for that, but do you even broach that subject? No, we don't even talk about it. We don't even want to talk about that. We're going to I know it sounds boring, and I know I've said it a number of times, but we're going to focus on what has allowed us to win football games. And we need to continue to keep doing those things. But in the back of their mind, I'm sure they realize that. But if we take care of our business the way we've done here in the last 9 weeks that we played, I think we'll be fine. But we need to go in there and take care of our business. And, we got to hold on to the football. We can't turn it over. We got to get some turnovers. We got to stop the running game. We have to be able to run it and play great on special teams. And I know that sounds boring, but we've done those things. And when we've done them well, we've had a lot of success. I broadcast a game from Wildcat Field over in Louisiana. There are some inconveniences, to say the least, which we won't get into. But how do you approach playing in an atmosphere in a stadium like that? Well, I've never been there, so I don't know. But we can't. We only can control the controllables. There's so much we can control. We can't control the environment. We can't control the locker room or the lack of there of a locker room. But what we can control is how we prepare and then how we play. And those are the things we're going to focus on. We're not going to focus on things that we can't control. We're just going to focus on things that we can control. Do you have Victory Monday yet? You're going to take tomorrow off Sunday because we're recording this after the game on Saturday. But do you do such thing like they do in the NFL? Monday off? No. We'll go back to work tomorrow. We'll have like a 45 minutes to an hour practice, special teams, some corrections, an introduction, and then the kids are off on Monday academically, and just to get away from football for a little bit. Even though they're still looking at it. Get the coaches a whole Monday to game plan, and then we'll get back to practice on Tuesday. So it's an inadvertent Victory Monday. Every Monday has been, Good. Yeah. I like to give them off. I think the coaches like it too, from the standpoint they get to sit in there all day and actually game plan and get ready for Tuesday's practice. So you don't feel rushed like you have a practice that night. It's just
Just been able to game plan and do all that stuff. Sundays, really, we try to squeeze a lot in on Sundays, and talking from grading the film to meeting with the players to weight lifts to trying to practice, and we try to squeeze a lot in. So Monday gives our coaches that whole day just to game plan.
Coach, practice them up, study them up, film them up. Go get that 10th win. We want perfecto this year.
Yeah, okay, me too.
And of course, Rams up, hopefully for a 10-0 perfect season as they face Louisiana Christian next week. We won't have that game in the Antler Sports Network, but hopefully in a couple of weeks, if everything goes right for the Rams, they'll have another home game, hopefully here at Crowley ISD Multi-Purpose Stadium in the postseason, which would be history-making for the Rams. So Rams up, go get them, Coach. Go get them, Rams. Till next time, for Coach Brad Sherrod, for Ricky Dotson, James McBride, Kenneth Flowers, Jared Jones of Antler Sports, Jimmy the St. Christopher saying, Rams up, adios, amigos.
Rams up.